The sun rose over the village of Savatthi, its rays illuminating the earth with a gentle golden glow. As the Buddha walked, his serene presence drew the attention of villagers, who gathered to listen to his teachings. A woman named Kisa Gautami approached, her face streaked with tears. Holding her lifeless son in her arms, she cried out, "Blessed One, you are wise and compassionate. Please bring my child back to life, for I cannot bear this loss." The Buddha looked at her with profound empathy and said, "Grief binds the heart like chains. Let us seek its source together." The villagers watched silently as Kisa Gautami sobbed, her sorrow too overwhelming to hide. The Buddha continued, "To find solace, bring me mustard seeds from a home untouched by death. Begin your search among these homes." Kisa Gautami wiped her tears and nodded, her desperation ignited with hope. She approached the first house she encountered and knocked on the wooden door. "Kind neighbors," she pleaded, "do you have mustard seeds? Have you ever faced the sorrow of death here?" The family offered her mustard seeds, but with heavy hearts. They confessed their own losses. "Death has visited our home, as it visits all," they said, sharing their stories of loss and mourning. Undeterred, Kisa Gautami carried the mustard seeds and moved to the next home. She repeated her request, her voice trembling with emotion. A young couple answered, carrying a similar sorrow in their expressions. "Our beloved parents have passed away," they told her, "but life carries on despite the ache in our hearts." Kisa Gautami nodded, her understanding deepening as each encounter revealed the universality of loss. She continued to search, moving from one home to another, each time discovering that no household was free from suffering. Every face she met carried the weight of loss, yet each family persevered in the face of impermanence. Her search stretched into the evening as shadows lengthened and the sky shifted to hues of orange and red. Exhausted and enlightened, Kisa Gautami returned to the Buddha, empty-handed yet transformed. "Blessed One," she said softly, her voice carrying wisdom born of experience. "No home is untouched by death. I now understand life's impermanence." The Buddha's gaze was tender and knowing as he spoke. "Kisa Gautami, suffering is universal. Through understanding impermanence, the heart finds freedom from despair." The villagers gathered closer, listening intently as the Buddha continued his teaching. Life's impermanence is like the changing seasons. It is a truth that frees us when fully embraced. He gestured to the rising moon, its pale light reflecting the cycle of time. "Consider the moon," he said, "waxing and waning, yet constant in its nature. So too is life, ever-changing yet interconnected." The villagers murmured in agreement, their understanding growing as the Buddha spoke. Clinging to what is temporary leads to suffering. Releasing attachment opens the door to peace and liberation, he explained. Kisa Gautami knelt before the Buddha, her hands clasped in gratitude and reverence for his profound wisdom. "My heart no longer fights against impermanence," she said. "I will follow your path to find liberation and peace." The Buddha smiled, his approval shining through his gentle demeanor. "Kisa Gautami, your understanding is the first step on the path to enlightenment. Purpose is not a goal ahead but the unfolding awareness in each moment alive with presence. Trust in this unfolding. Life will guide your footsteps toward the path meant uniquely for you." Buddha stood, the gentle movement enough to silence every rustle in the gathering's midst. "You have heard these words," he spoke softly, "but their meaning must sink beyond the mind into the core of your being." The Buddha observed her progress, his teachings adapted to her growth and understanding. "Kisa Gautami, your compassion is a reflection of your awakening. Use it to help others find peace," he advised. Through her efforts, Kisa Gautami became an inspiration to others, her story a testament to the power of understanding impermanence. Another day, another gathering under the sheltering trees. where disciples assembled to hear Buddha unveil deeper layers of his teachings. Buddha's voice, calm and measured, carried across the grove. Purpose is revealed through knowing oneself, not through external achievements or possessions. Who are you without the titles, possessions, and attachments you cling to? Uncovering this truth reveals the self's core. He extended his hand toward a stream flowing nearby. Water reflects clarity when undisturbed, and so does the mind unclouded by desires. She continued to learn, her understanding deepening with each passing day. The Buddha continued his journey, spreading his teachings far and wide, touching the lives of countless souls seeking truth. His presence brought peace and understanding to all who encountered him. As Kisa Gautami practiced the Dharma, her spirit transcended the confines of grief, finding solace in impermanence and interconnectedness. When pain is embraced rather than resisted, it becomes the teacher leading to a greater purpose beyond the self. A disciple stepped forward. Master, how do we detach from sorrow without becoming cold or unfeeling toward the suffering of others? Buddha replied gently, true detachment is not indifference. It is seeing sorrow with wisdom, allowing compassion to guide your response. Through accepting sorrow, you liberate yourself from its weight, freeing the heart to serve with love and intention. He gestured to the lotus blooming nearby. This flower emerges through muddy waters, yet rises clean to share its beauty with the world. His presence continued to inspire, guiding seekers on the path to enlightenment. The sun set over Savatthi, its rays fading into the horizon, symbolizing life's constant cycle of change. Purpose flows through your actions when aligned with mindfulness and harmony, connecting your being to the larger cosmic dance. He narrated the story of two friends. One sought material gain, the other sought inner wisdom, and their contrasting life paths. The monks surrounded him, their hearts eager to learn, seeking clarity on the struggles of their spiritual paths. A young monk, disheartened by his failures, spoke up, Master, I feel my efforts are in vain. Will I ever succeed? The Buddha's gaze was steady and calm as he replied, effort is never wasted, even when the path seems treacherous and long. He traced the outline of a circle in the earth and said, listen closely to the tale of the blind turtle. The disciples leaned in, their eyes fixed on their teacher, each word drawing them deeper into the story's wisdom. In the vast ocean, a blind turtle rises to the surface once every 100 years, the Buddha began thoughtfully. Among the scattered driftwood, imagine a single plank with a small hole, floating aimlessly upon the waves. The young monk furrowed his brow, struggling to comprehend the significance of the story unfolding before him. The Buddha continued, what are the odds that the blind turtle, upon surfacing, would place its head through that hole? The monk considered the impossibility, his mind wrestling with the enormity of the question the Buddha posed. The odds are unfathomably slim. Master, he replied, feeling the weight of the turtle's unlikely journey. Indeed, the Buddha affirmed, this rare occurrence mirrors the chance to be born human and to hear the Dharma. He paused, allowing his words to settle among the disciples, each one reflecting on their own opportunities. Life itself is a precious gift, the Buddha said, an opportunity to awaken and walk the path toward liberation. The disciples nodded, recognizing the rarity of their position, fortunate enough to learn from the enlightened one. Do not waste this gift, the Buddha urged, his voice firm yet compassionate. For each effort, however small, brings progress. The young monk listened closely, his heart lightened by the Buddha's assurances and the wisdom of the turtle's tale. Even the flawed can awaken, the Buddha continued, for understanding, perseverance, and compassion are greater than any imperfections. A breeze rustled through the branches above, its sound like whispers of truth carried on the wind. Consider your doubts, the Buddha said, turning to the monk. They arise from attachment and fear, which cloud the mind's clarity. The disciples reflected on their own doubts, realizing the barriers that hindered their spiritual growth. Release fear. Let go of attachment, the Buddha advised, and the path to awakening will become clear as the morning light. His words resonated like ripples in water, touching the hearts of each disciple seated before him. The blind turtle's effort mirrors your own, he said, persisting despite the odds, guided by the currents of determination. The young monk smiled faintly, his shoulders less burdened by the doubts that had weighed him down. Do not fear your failures, the Buddha encouraged, for each one teaches lessons that prepare the mind for ultimate liberation. The monks listened closely, their hearts swelling with renewed resolve to persevere through their challenges. You are not alone in this struggle, the Buddha said, his voice filled with warmth. For all beings face the ocean of life. The disciples marveled at the depth of his understanding, his wisdom a light in the darkness of their struggles. Together, we walk this path, the Buddha continued, each step a step closer to awakening and the far shore of liberation. The young monk bowed his head, his heart grateful for the Buddha's guidance and the story's profound truth. The Buddha rose, his presence like a beacon of hope, his wisdom illuminating the path for those seeking freedom. The monks followed, their spirits uplifted, their faith renewed in the teachings of their compassionate master. As the sun set beyond the horizon, the disciples reflected on the blind turtle's journey, their minds enriched with insight. The Buddha's words carried through the night, his voice like the whisper of the wind and the rhythm of waves. Effort and understanding guided them forward, each one inspired by the rare opportunity to awaken to the truth of existence. The tale of the blind turtle echoed within their hearts, its lesson as profound as the vast ocean itself. The Buddha continued his teachings, unwavering in his compassion and wisdom, his light eternal amidst the impermanence of life. The monks journeyed onward, their steps guided by the truths revealed beneath the Bodhi tree that sacred day. Another day, another story. The disciples found hope in the Buddha's teachings, each one strengthened by his unwavering guidance. The rare gift of life became their treasure, each effort and understanding deepening their connection to the Dharma. Their spirits united, they vowed to honor the Buddha's wisdom and persevere through the challenges of their paths. Together, they walked the journey of awakening, strengthened by their compassion and dedication to liberation. Another day, another teaching. The Buddha and his disciples arrived at the banks of a wide and flowing river. The sun cast its reflection on the water's surface, shimmering like liquid gold under the midday light. The disciples gathered, observing the challenge before them. As the river's currents appeared swift and unyielding, one of the monks turned to the Buddha and asked, "Master, how shall we cross to the other side safely?" The Buddha pointed to a nearby raft constructed of wood and vines. Worn but still sturdy and serviceable. "Consider this raft," the Buddha began. "It is a means to an end, designed to help one cross the river." The disciples listened intently, their focus unwavering as the Buddha continued his teaching, his tone calm and deliberate. "A man builds a raft to traverse the water," he said. "But once across, should he carry it with him?" The monks looked at one another, pondering the Buddha's question, recognizing the lesson hidden within his words. "No, Master," one monk answered. "He should leave it behind, for its purpose has been fulfilled upon reaching safety." The Buddha nodded, his serene expression reflecting his approval of the disciples' understanding and insight. "Precisely," the Buddha said. "The Dharma is like this raft, a tool to guide you across the river of suffering." The disciples reflected deeply, their thoughts aligning with the profound truth revealed in the Buddha's simple yet powerful words. When the far shore is reached, the Buddha continued, clinging to the raft is unnecessary and becomes a hindrance. The flowing river mirrored the cycle, of life, its currents symbolic of the challenges faced by all beings in existence. Right understanding, the Buddha explained, means knowing when to hold on and when to let go, embracing wisdom in its fullness. The disciples bowed their heads, their respect for the Buddha's wisdom reflected in the silence that followed his words. Attachment binds the heart, the Buddha said. Even attachment to the teachings can impede one's journey to ultimate liberation. His words carried the weight of truth, their clarity cutting through doubt and igniting reflection within the hearts of the disciples. To awaken fully, the Buddha continued, one must release all clinging, even to what was once a source of guidance. The monks absorbed his teaching, their understanding deepened by the analogy of the raft and its purpose along the journey. Crossing the river requires effort, the Buddha said, but the willingness to move forward is what leads to liberation. A gentle breeze passed over the riverbank, its touch soothing and harmonious, as if nature itself affirmed the Buddha's words. Life's challenges are like this river, the Buddha explained, sometimes calm, sometimes tumultuous, yet always moving, always changing. The disciples observed the water's movement, finding parallels between its ebb and flow in their own lives' impermanent nature. The far shore symbolizes freedom, the Buddha said, a place of peace and wisdom, where suffering no longer holds dominion. The disciples envisioned the far shore, their hearts inspired by the promise of liberation and the cessation of suffering. Effort and understanding are the paddles, the Buddha continued. They guide the journey, ensuring progress toward awakening and enlightenment. The monks nodded, their determination renewed by the Buddha's encouragement and the clarity of his metaphor. However, the Buddha cautioned, wisdom is required to know which tools to use and when to let them go. His gaze moved over the disciples, his presence imbued with compassion and the desire to guide them toward liberation. The raft is not the goal, the Buddha said. It is merely a means to help you reach the far shore. The disciples reflected on their own attachments, examining the ways they had clung to what was no longer necessary. When the mind is free from clinging, the Buddha said, it becomes clear and serene, like a still and peaceful lake. His words painted a vivid image in their minds, the stillness of the lake symbolizing the freedom found in liberation. Letting go is not losing, the Buddha explained. It is gaining the space to see life's truth and embrace wisdom. The disciples felt the weight of their attachments begin to lift, their hearts lightened by the Buddha's transformative teaching. As the day wore on, the Buddha guided the monks in constructing a simple raft from the materials along the riverbank. This raft represents your journey, the Buddha said, a tangible reminder of the effort and understanding required to cross. The monks worked diligently, their hands weaving vines and securing wood, their minds focused on the task and its deeper meaning. Upon completing the raft, the Buddha stepped back, observing their work with approval and a serene smile. Now, let us cross, the Buddha said, his voice steady and encouraging. As he gestured for the disciples to board the raft, the monks followed, their hearts steady as they placed their trust in the raft and the Buddha's guidance. Pushing off from the shore, the raft began its journey across the river, its movement steady under the monks' coordinated effort. The water swirled around them, its currents a reminder of life's impermanence and the challenges faced on the path. Each stroke of the paddle, the Buddha said, is a step forward, a mark of progress toward the far shore. The disciples paddled with intention, their movements synchronized, their hearts united in their shared journey of awakening. Do not fear the currents, the Buddha advised, for they are temporary, as all things in life are temporary. His words provided comfort, their truth a beacon of light guiding the monks across the river's shifting waters. As the raft neared the far shore, the disciples felt a sense of accomplishment, their efforts rewarded with the sight of freedom. The Buddha stepped onto the shore, his presence a symbol of the wisdom and peace found in liberation. The monks followed, their feet touching solid ground, their hearts filled with gratitude for the journey and its teachings. Now, leave the raft behind, the Buddha said, for its purpose is fulfilled, and your journey continues anew. The disciples let go of the raft, their hearts freed from attachment, their minds ready to embrace the path ahead. Together, they stood on the far shore, the river behind them, the promise of liberation before them. Right understanding is your compass, the Buddha said, guiding you through life's impermanence and the challenges of awakening. His teachings resonated within their hearts, each word a thread in the fabric of their growing wisdom. The sun began to set, its warm glow casting long shadows over the river, a symbol of life's continual cycle. The monks bowed before the Buddha, their gratitude profound for the lessons learned and the path illuminated. Another day, another teaching, the Buddha's words carried forward, guiding seekers toward the far shore of peace and liberation. The river remained, its currents flowing, a testament to the impermanence and interconnectedness of all existence. The disciples walked onward, their steps lightened by the wisdom gained, their hearts steady on the path of awakening. The Buddha's teachings endured, a beacon of truth and compassion, illuminating the way for all who sought freedom. It means believing in the resilience nurtured through love. The mother smiled faintly, her heart absorbing the wisdom and beginning to find peace in the act of letting go. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.